For decades, the Irishmen who fought in World War One were ghosts in their own history. Their sacrifice was neither celebrated nor condemned, it was simply omitted. But time does not erase truth. In recent years, Ireland has begun to acknowledge the soldiers it once forgot. Their names are now spoken aloud, their stories told with nuance instead of silence. This reckoning with the past is not just about history, it is about identity. To understand Ireland fully, one must confront the complexities of its struggles, divisions, and forgotten voices. Today, at ceremonies marking Armistice Day, Irish families gather at memorials bringing wreaths and fading photographs of men once lost to history. Grandchildren stand where their ancestors fought, not in battlefields, but in the quiet space where remembrance takes hold. It is an act of reclamation. History has a way of catching up. The soldiers of Ireland's Great War were never just numbers in an archive. They were men who lived through the contradictions of war and identity, men who carried burdens that few understood. Their story reminds us that history is rarely simple. It is layered, messy, and filled with perspectives that challenge easy narratives. In classrooms, museums, and documentaries such as this one, the conversation has begun anew. Young historians are uncovering letters from the trenches, personal messages expressing a longing for home and a belief that their service meant something greater. What was once buried in archives now sits in public exhibitions, allowing Ireland to see its soldiers with new eyes. Some documents reveal deeply personal accounts, letters written on the eve of battle, soldiers sending their final words home, uncertain if they would survive the night. Others show recruitment efforts, promises that service would bring honor. These promises were not always kept. These echoes remain not in political declarations or grand monuments, but in the quiet places. They live in the fields where young men once walked before boarding ships to war, in the letters, medals, and photographs rediscovered in dusty attics, in the growing willingness to say their names without judgment. But memory is a fragile thing. Without the effort to preserve these stories, they will fade again. Each generation holds a responsibility to remember, to question, and to learn. At family gatherings, elders now speak openly about lost relatives who fought in British uniforms, sharing stories once kept quiet. Historians uncover forgotten photographs, faces staring back from the past, once erased from Ireland's official narrative. For every soldier who fought, there was a family that waited. Some never received the letters they longed for. Others lived with the knowledge that their loved ones had died in a war they never fully understood. Many Irish women lost sons, brothers, husbands. Their grief remained private, spoken only behind closed doors. Even today, families still uncover forgotten military records, learning, sometimes for the first time, that their ancestors served in the Great War. One such family, after generations of silence, discovered a diary belonging to their grandfather, his words preserved but never spoken aloud. In its pages, they read of battles they had never heard of, fears that had never been acknowledged, and quiet hope that home would still be waiting when the war ended. For many veterans, home was never the same again. The past is never truly buried. It lingers in every generation that chooses to remember, not to change history, but to understand it. This documentary is not about rewriting Ireland's identity, it's about seeing it fully acknowledging the complexity and ensuring that no chapter, no matter how uncomfortable, is left untold. Their voices were silenced once, but now, at last, they can be heard. As the final scenes fade into stillness, we are left with one last image: a lone soldier's uniform preserved in glass, its fabric worn, its insignia faded. The echoes remain.